Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you my bike hoard in this small apartment. This is a small 2-bedroom apartment. I think it's about 1,000 square feet, and I have quite a few bikes in here, and I just kind of wanted to show everybody out there that it is possible to have a bunch of bikes. I'm not saying this is a good thing. It's not a long-term solution by any means. We're just here temporarily, so I consider it more of like a storage unit. And we actually are closed on a house, so we're going to be moving very shortly. So I wanted to make sure I recorded this before it's too late. I think I have like 10 bikes in here. You can see some of them behind me. So if you want to check out how I have so many bikes in such a small space without it being super overwhelming, then just keep on watching. I'm gonna flip the camera now and we'll check them out. Okay, so this is my office space, and I work from home, so it's kind of unfortunate. I have my just computer set up in the corner over here, and so it does get a little bit overwhelming in here. I have 3 bikes on this wall, and they're pretty much every discipline of bike I have. So I'm going to show you this way to store the bikes that you could really get a good amount in a small space without any sort of rack or stand. So you do have to put the bike on the wall. So if you don't want to mark up your walls, then you might not want to do this. But if you have different types of bikes, including like mountain bikes and road bikes, the best way to store them is road bike first with the drop bars on the wall, and then use the mountain bike's wide handlebar to actually rest up on the wall as well. And you can see that there is a very small amount of clearance in between, but it just stacks them really close to each other, and it makes it so you get a lot of bikes and not that much square footage. And then pretty much here you could put any bike, and this one happens to be a BMX. You could actually move it onto the stem of the first bike, so you're staggering all of the bars. And now I have 3 bikes in a probably I don't know, 3 by 6 square footage with 18 square feet. So you could put a lot of bikes in a small area, and it doesn't overwhelm the space. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to move it around a bit so it's a little bit better. And you have to be very conscious of the pedals on each of them so that they're all also staggered in between the bikes. So just a perfect example there. Most people only have 3 bikes, and if you do, you could totally get away with just having a full quiver of bikes here on 18 square feet, and that alone would not be too offensive or overwhelming for somebody, especially if you're working in here, which I do. But the trick here is to keep the bikes in a separate room that you're not seeing every day. But there are bikes out there, so we'll move on to those in a minute here. So on this wall here, I have my main road bike, and it's just kind of taking up a lot of space. I also have a camera system over here, which I'm going to move so you can see the bike a little bit better. And so I have a lot of solutions for like making things small footprint, including my camera rig, and this way I store the bikes. And then also this bike is just kind of on display, and I use it probably the most out of any of my bikes. So I put it there so it's easy to move in and out, and I could just take it out the door and we're good to go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this room actually has a balcony connected to it. There's also another room over there, which is our master bedroom. And I have 2 bikes out there, and those are on just a really cheap wheel stand. I don't love wheel stands because things like this start to happen where a bike will lean over, and it definitely wears on the wheel. I haven't noticed any difference in the truing, but if you're using that long term, it would definitely make some wobble in your wheel for sure, because that bike has just been sitting there for weeks or months even with its wheel like that for several hours. So I tried to put them in front wheel first. That really alleviates the kick out because the front wheel is really what's making that happen. But to have two of them on a stand like this, it's really hard to have two mountain bikes the same direction without their brake lines or bars getting all tangled up. So that's why they're opposite directions, which I just have to deal with right now. So, okay, that makes the total 5 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bikes, and then we're about to go out to the living room. And I'll show you the rest of them. Now, this one here, I would consider a bike. Let me know what you think. It is a stationary, and also let me know what you think about how this stationary bike looks. Let me know if you see anything different about it or if anything catches your eye about it. I think it looks pretty nice, but just let me know your thoughts. So that's 7 bikes, and then I'm gonna scan because Cami is literally sitting right there. Okay, so this is my solution for the main bikes that we use or I use. This is like the kitchen area of an apartment, and it has like this vinyl, and it's more of like a separate spot for a dining room, but we don't really use a dining room table in here because I have so many bikes. But it's kind of like the garage. You could see there's actually a storage locker there, and it has all the bike stuff in it. I'll show you that in a second. And then we have this is actually a gravity rack, so you don't need to screw anything into the wall for that rack, which is amazing. And in a better situation, it would look a lot more modern because there would be less clutter around it. Like in a garage, you could have like a couple of those and have 4 bikes on the wall, which I plan on doing. And okay, so you could see the bikes here. This mountain bike is my main cross-country bike, which the road bike and the cross-country bike are my main riders out here in Ocala. So I have this one out and ready. And then the bikes behind it are a little bit sad. That one up top is actually for sale. It's an extra large 58 cm Trek Amonda, if anybody's interested. Love the purple flip on it, which is why I'm still holding on to it, and it has a Sensa gravel group set on it. It's been the best group set I've used personally through all of my bike endeavors. That's not saying a lot because I've only really ridden like 105 and Dior, so not like Ultegra, my bad. So that one's for sale, and that makes the count 8, 9, 10. So 10 bikes in here. The one down there is Cami's like road bike, but she's just never really committed to purchasing like a specifically tailored road bike for her. So everything is really big, and this one's like actually it's a mid-school cyclocross bike, I would say. You could tell how old it is from that dork disc is like yellowed, but it does have a disc brake setup on it, which is cool. It's just not her size. It's like a medium large, like I could get away with riding it. And then the cross-country bike is on the foldable aluminum rack, which is really cool. I take that with me whenever I go on trips and races and stuff, so I could keep my stuff standing up and not leaning on the car or something. But you could kind of also tell this is like the garage area of the apartment, and have my main toolbox in here and various stuff. And here is the locker with helmets, and then inside here we have a bunch of different solutions. So this is like a full service, I guess it would be like a tool locker or like parts locker. And it's definitely not the best solution to this by any means, but if you live in an apartment and you're like concerned with your space and you're worried that you won't have enough, there certainly is. You just have to make a sacrifice of having a dining room table or something like that. Again, try to keep the rest of the space like not super cluttered with bike stuff, and that area is like totally clean. And all the bikes were kind of hidden behind this door, not only to appease my mental health, but also if like a maintenance person or somebody from the apartment comes in here, they won't like scrutinize us because you're really only supposed to have one bike per person. So please don't tell on me, but that was my bike hoard tour for a small apartment. If you have any questions or anything, just pop in the comments down below. Don't forget to go out there and create your own adventure however you can. Spread some positivity. See you on the next one.